A neighborhood often praised for its acceptance became a target of hate last night. The owner of the Grove's Rehab Bar and Grill discovered two gay pride flags on fire in the back alley of his property. Kyle Henton put out the flames shortly before capturing this video. It happened just before midnight. The rainbow flags had read, "God is still speaking." They're affiliated with the United Church of Christ. One of them is believed to have been stolen from the Kirkwood UCC. The church discovered one of their flags missing this morning. All of this coming, of course, just days into LGBT Pride Month.
Some people are like, oh, it's just a banner on fire. But it's the message and the intention of what they're trying to do, intimidate us. And ultimately, fighting hate with hate doesn't work.
The incident was reported to police this afternoon. They are now looking at security camera video in the area to find out who did it. It's an example of the challenges people in the LGBTQ plus community face every day. Susan Kidder is CEO of Safe Connections. She joins us to continue our conversation about healthy relationships. Great to have you here,
Great
as
to be
always,
here.
Susan. So let's talk about the impact of incidents like the flag burning in just a moment, and start really with the definition of LGBTQ plus. What does that mean?
Right. Well, that's just some folks just a lot of letters, right? LGBTQ is lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and the Q can either be queer and less frequently questioning. And the plus is because there are many, many more identities than the LGBTQ would indicate.
So it's trying to include people who identify as something maybe
Right.
other than what could be put on a list.
Exactly, exactly. Gender non-binary, so one doesn't identify necessarily with what they were assigned at birth based on anatomy, or they don't subscribe to the kind of the social constructs of gender. So that's where we get the LGBTQ, and transgender is, the T is transgender.
Okay, so let's talk about the challenges people in the LGBTQ plus community face. The burned flags fit right into that. And this is really something very hurtful.
Absolutely. I mean, it illustrates that although we've made great strides in the LGBTQ community, or in the non-LGBTQ community, there is still plenty of work to do when it comes to acceptance and understanding of those who identify as LGBTQ.
So does this mean that when people who are LGBTQ hear stories like this, it sort of confirms their worst suspicions about some of those around them, that they aren't supportive and don't understand?
Yeah, that can be one of the deterrents to someone in a violent relationship, for example. And domestic and sexual violence, that is that pattern of control and abusive behavior that's designed to threaten and coerce and control a partner. So that suspicion around the outside community not really being sensitive, culturally aware, LGBTQ affirming, may keep that partner in that abusive relationship longer, and the partner may use that identity as kind of a leverage or a lever or leverage, and threatening to perhaps out their partner, and therefore keeping that partner under their control and in their abusive relationship.
And we're not just talking about women, right? We're talking about men and women.
Absolutely. We're talking, normally we talk about domestic and sexual violence and people automatically go to women. And that's really natural because 90% of the time it's women who are the survivors. That leaves the other 10% feeling very invisible, including folks who identify as LGBTQ. So we want, at Safe Connections, LGBTQ folks to know that we see you. We are here for you, and we are here for you year-round, not just in June during Pride Month.
And in fact, you have a 24-hour crisis helpline, and anyone who might be experiencing one of the many different types of domestic violence, because we're not just talking about physical violence, it could be sexual violence or violence, psychological.
Right, financial, technological. Someone could be the survivor of stalking. So you're exactly right. There's a whole array of different kinds of intimate partner violence that someone could be surviving. And again, Safe Connections is that safe place for everyone. We are inclusive and welcoming of everyone in our programs and services.
314-531-2003. Susan Kidder from Safe Connections, great to have you.
Thank
as
you.
always. All right, let's go back.